Hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm your host, Robin Hackney, and I'm so happy that you're here. This podcast is a place for conversations about balancing a healthy lifestyle and being happy, more specifically, happy hour. Together, we'll explore all things wellness and wine. I hope you learn a little, laugh a lot, and along the way, know you're not alone on this balanced wellness journey. Ready to jump in? Pour something in your glass that makes you happy because it's time for Spandex and Wine. Hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I am your host, Robin Hackney, and grateful that you are here because you are in for a treat today. I've been looking forward to the conversation that I had with Monica Jones. She is the founder of The Black Wino. She's a certified Texas wine specialist and a Wine and Spirits Education Trust 1 and 2 with distinction and holds a Côtes du Rhône certification. The Black Wino provides a simplified approach to wine consumption and lends a voice to an untapped consumer market in an industry traditionally known to lack a diverse landscape. The Black Wino influences millennial and novice wine enthusiasts through authentic storytelling, campaign creation, and branded experiences that connect wineries, winemakers, and retailers to African American consumers with more than $1.2 trillion in spending power. Without further ado, I give you Monica Jones. Well, hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast, Monica. I am super excited that you are here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I know we had a previous call scheduled, and I'm so glad to be here in the new year with you. So looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. I have been following you on Instagram. I've been watching your brand and your business grow, and I just want to know all about it. So let's jump into the Black Wino, how you got started, where you got the name, what's behind it all.
Right. So the Black Wino is an origin story, just simply out of seeing a lack of women and individuals who looked like me in the room. I had a start early on in my blogging career as a lifestyle blogger for a few local magazines here in the Houston area. And so that kind of sent me on numerous of wine launches and releases and premieres. And as I'm looking around the room, I'm kind of seeing just one of me. And so that is where my curiosity for the actual industry beyond a consumer really started and sparked. It was in that room I met a winemaker by the name of Chris Brundrett. He is the founder and winemaker for Williams Chris Vineyards. It's a Texas winery. And just hearing him talk so passionately about what the Texas wine industry was doing, this was in, I want to say, 2017 or 2018, just about what was to come and his passion for Texas grapes and what we were doing in the industry just really inspired me to take it upon myself to figure out how to get into the wine industry and more from a professional standpoint versus an outsider or consumer. And so I decided to take the route of securing a certification as a Texas wine specialist. I figured to stand out amongst a mass of individuals who are entering the wine industry, it would be best that I take the niche approach and really start in my own backyard. Because if I can't really, I guess, get a grasp on the grapes that are growing right here in Texas, it's going to be hard to really do so in other terroirs or regions. So that is how I got my start. It was all out of curiosity and just seeing a lack of individuals who looked like me. And then I really kind of just hit the ground running, going to get my WSET 1 and 2 with the help of organizations who are aimed to actually make the industry a bit more inclusive. And so just with the support of organizations like the Roots Fund, Wine Unify, and now the Women in Spirits and Vine Trust, they have just really kind of catapulted my career. And then, I have to also attribute myself doing the work, actually staying active in the industry outside of my classes, just having the curiosity to explore new grapes and new wine varietals to drink. That is what keeps me passionate about this industry, and then how I can add value into it. So that is really my origin story. I'm just one small woman here in Houston who saw a need and wanted to lend my voice to this industry and what's currently happening.
Yeah, you say one small woman, but you have grown quite the little empire there. So tell us about everything that you do, because I know you said that you have different events that you do, that you collaborate with different liquor stores. Um, what are all your services and events?
Right. So, as a wine specialist and educator, I do private wine tastings. So, I host those in group settings, couple settings, team building. I've done virtuals during COVID for companies. So, I've pretty much done it all. And then beyond the private tastings, I like to host public wine experiences for the community. So that is just me reaching out to brands that I'm a avid, fan of and supporter of, wanting them to extend to the community. So I serve as a middle woman in a sense to kind of be the connector for consumer to these brands, wineries, and winemakers. So that is, I guess, those are the two main things that I'm doing right now. I just added another hat as a wine judge for the Houston Rodeo International Wine Competition. And that was my first year serving as a judge. So it has been on my bucket list since I started taking this industry professionally. And to see me, I guess, rise to the occasion here in such a short period of time has just been a blessing and an honor.
Yes, and it's amazing. I mean, we joke around about like research and, oh, what a tough job. But really, for you to get to that level and to be able to have those certifications and to be invited to, I mean, the rodeo sounds amazing. Like that just sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's such a fun time as a born and raised Houstonian. I've grown up attending the rodeo as a little girl and as a young adult, and now as a grown woman. And so to have my contributions aid in something as big for Texas and Houston, and also the main purpose and cause is to raise money for the youth for scholarships in the agriculture, which of course the wine industry and ag go hand in hand. So I feel like I'm giving back in a sense, and so I'm so pleased and proud to serve on this judging panel this year.
Okay, tell me about the judging then. Like how many wines do you go through? Do you go through all different types of varietals? Take us through what that day was like.
Right. So it's a 3-day
Oh, wow.
process judging, and we had, I think, over 3,000 wine entries this year. My particular panel, I served on two panels, and over a 2-day period, I want to say we tasted individually maybe about 400 to 500 wines. And
Wow.
so daily, yeah, it was about 250 to 300 wines in a day. And then day two, my panel was selected to come back and do another round of judging. So that was maybe like another 150 glasses. And, we have experts that have been on the rodeo committee since the, inception of it. And so having, I guess, individuals from all facets of the industry was very interesting. I felt it was necessary too, because you have different voices to kind of lend their expertise as a consumer or a blogger or someone who works in wine and marketing. So there were different palettes across the table. It was a collaborative effort to really come to, I guess, a majority vote on whether it was going to be a gold or silver or bronze. And I'm proud to say that the two panels that I served on, we had no bad blood, or because sometimes
That's
it can
good.
get yeah, it can get a little very I guess feisty around the table, when you have some of the people who have been in the industry 25 plus years wanting to have you speak truth to the wine and the expression in the glass. So luckily I had some very supportive veteran panelists on mine, so it all was well, and it was fun. It's a lot of wine. There's tons of networking and partying, and then we'll do it all again here for the rodeo. Actually, I think it's February through March, so I'm excited to get right back in it and see all of the panelists, and also get to really sample some of the wines that we judged and honored with champion awards. So
Wow, that's so cool and such an honor to be asked to do that. So that's really cool. Good
I,
for you.
yeah, and it's a whole process. They don't just call you up. You have to
Yeah.
process to get on this particular panel. I've heard it's a little bit easier with the San Antonio rodeo, so I'm gonna definitely probably reach out to them and see if I can judge for their upcoming international competition.
Yeah. Now, have you always been business savvy? Have you always had that entrepreneurial spirit? Where did all of that start?
Yeah, I did. I've always wanted to own my own business. I've always been someone who's taken initiative to, if I don't see it, I create it. And so
Hmm.
that's kind of how I've lived my entire life. And eh, I guess what keeps me passionate is just continuing to be a creator, being a creative in different facets. I hold a MBA in business administration, of course. So, I have the background as well. And so, yeah, I guess it all goes hand in hand. I minored in entrepreneurship in college. So this has kind of always been my path.
Yeah, so well accomplished. So, what is the next step for the Black Wino?
Wow. I feel like this year holds so many opportunities. I'm looking for an actual career in the wine industry. I've dabbled part time with hospitality, serving in wine service. I feel like the sommelier, right, was definitely something I was considering early on in my career. Now that I have a little bit more direction of where I want to go and where I can see me being value added to companies is more on the marketing side, brand management, or even event management. So I've been working with a few companies here and there, and it'll be some things that I'll announce later on in this year that I'm working with a couple of companies doing some freelance stuff.
Very cool. I love it. I love it. And you said that you want to make this full time. So, what do you do right now full time?
Right now, I work in oil and gas. So I am a researcher by day. My official title is senior market analyst. I've been in oil and gas for 12 years, believe it or not.
Wow. Okay.
I love my job. This is a career for me. And, as soon as I find an opportunity in the wine industry that aligns, I would definitely be interested in making that full jump.
Yeah, find an opportunity or create one, I feel like you'll
Uh,
just create your opportunity.
that has really been it, just kind of creating until the right one comes along and aligns.
Yeah. So I have to ask then, what do you typically drink? What is your favorite?
I would always say a sparkling wine. I don't really discriminate across the board. I will drink a nice champagne. I will drink a Cremant or a Cava. I'll even drink sometimes a Prosecco. I'm not the biggest fan,
Okay, okay,
but like a lot of Rhone style blends. I'm a Bordeaux blend girl as well, and they grow well here in Texas. So you'll typically see a GSM in my glass, a Tempranillo. What else do I like? I also will drink a Riesling here and there,
okay,
and some Pinot Gris, Sancerre. I really drink anything you'll put in front of me. I
okay.
don't. Yeah, can list all days, but typically if I go red, it's going to be Tempranillo or a GSM blend.
Okay, that was a silly question, but so you are a Texas wine specialist, but I'm sure when I said that your favorite wine, do you have a region that you really gravitate towards that you enjoy their wines the most?
I would say Spain. I again lean more towards the hotter climate type grapes. Anything that grows well in Spain, Rioja, here Argentina, Mendoza is one of my also favorite regions to get red varietals from, and then Texas would also be it, just because we duplicate with a lot of those industries and terroirs do well.
hmm hmm And you said that you do wine tastings and education. Do you do any types of courses, not for people that want to get to the level that you are, but they want to just know a little bit more about wine so they can sound knowledgeable in a group?
I have not done that yet, but I'm definitely open to opportunities to educate as much as I've learned and share. So yeah, I would definitely love to have maybe a small circle of people I can give some tips to and get them up to
Yeah.
speed like a pro.
Yeah, no, I feel like you would be great at that. That would be awesome. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned just before we hit record that you had worked out today. So let's talk about your fitness and wellness and what you do that you enjoy.
Right. Yeah, it's so exciting. I feel like January is always a great month to restart
Yes.
uh, fitness goals. And of course, I am participating in Dry January. So that is one of the things I'm doing to really kind of take back and jumpstart my wellness here. But
hmm
I have a membership to a fitness gym. I don't even really know if it's a fitness gym because
Okay.
it's just it's called Hot Works. It's just set 8 boxes. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but
Yes.
it's
hmm
okay. So, it's not really a gym technically, and there's no instructors. You go in, do your own thing, but I love it.
Good.
That is my zone. I'm also a hot yoga girl. I do hot cycling. Anything hot, I apparently love, and that's torture.
Wow. Well, you live in Houston, so you have to like the heat.
Right. You know what? I think that might be have something to do with it because
Maybe that's it.
yeah, I really don't know why I keep going to these hot classes. Um, just signed up for a free trial for Spanga, which is spin, strength, and yoga, 60-minute class. So
Very
that's
cool.
yeah. And then I like to do fun things like Bino Vinyasa yoga. It's an event and I guess, a way to combine two things that I like to do,
hmm
working out and staying active and then drinking wine. A friend of mine, Morgan, she hosts it here in Houston, Austin, and a few other places. So I try and catch it when it comes to town.
Cool. That sounds fun. I like
Yeah,
that.
I know it's really fun.
Yeah.
I also just took my first Pilates class last
Oh, did
week.
you love it?
Oh my goodness, I hated it.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Yeah. If you have any tips, Robin, please send them to me. I most flew off of the reformer, and apparently I was on a mega former or reformer. So a
Okay,
little
so
bit
maybe start with mat Pilates. Maybe you'd like a mat Pilates class.
right. So I need to go back to where I'm flat on the ground.
No, I mean, the reformer is fantastic. It's amazing. But yeah, a mat Pilates class is wonderful too. And I think that you have to find what you enjoy and what you like and what works well with your body to keep you going.
Absolutely. And that's true. I think when you find something you like to do, it's easier to stay motivated. So
hmm
that's why I tend to go to yoga pretty often. It relaxes me, just puts me just in a different headspace. And then also there's the, fitness component to it as well.
Yeah. And I think the same is with wine. Like what you enjoy is what you enjoy, and no one should, give you a hard time about that or yuck your yum, because you know what you like, and our palates change. They go seasonal just like everything else. So with your fitness, you'll probably change things up. With what you're pouring in your glass, you'll change things up as you learn more, as you explore more. And it's just all a process that's so much fun to go through.
Absolutely. Yeah, it definitely has been this fitness journey. One thing doesn't work, you just get right back on and try something new and you just keep going. So it's
That's
just
right. Have you always been an active person?
I have not. But as I'm getting older, and then almost daily consumption of wine, I definitely know it's something that I need to do. Just staying active and healthy. So
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned doing a dry January. I'm doing like a dry-ish or a mindful
uh-huh.
drinking January. I started off with, oh, it's just going to be dry. And then I thought, well, this is about balance. This podcast is about balance. My life is about balance. So, I gave myself just a little bit of wiggle room there. But I know a lot of people do dry January, and I was exploring with some non-alcoholic wines and beers. Have you done any exploring with the NA?
It's not my category, but I
Okay.
get stories all the time for people who are like, can you suggest, a non-alcoholic wine? And I'm like, why would you do that?
I
That's
know.
so fun. Just drink water. Um, I've had a couple of, they've not been great. So I'm still kind of exploring to find what, kind of tastes similar or I guess similar enough to some
Yes.
like.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I've only tried one non-alcoholic wine and it was okay. It was a Chardonnay and it tasted more like watered down apple juice.
Mhm.
It wasn't bad, and I was surprised by the calories. The calories were only 45 calories in 8 ounces, whereas wine's around 115, 120 for 5 ounces. So,
Yeah, that's not bad. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. But I'm with you. I'm like, why wouldn't you just drink water then?
Yeah, but just drink water. It's just a tease, at that point, I'm just kind of like, I'm just hand me the bottle, the real thing.
Yeah. Well, I can trick myself with like a sparkling water too. Like if I put that in my wine glass, then I'm like, oh, there's my bubbles. That's good.
Yeah, I love a mocktail. I love sparkling water. So I'll always, gravitate probably to that versus a non-alcoholic beverage.
Yes, yes. Now, do you still have your blog?
I do. I actually have a blog post that I'm getting ready to,
Okay.
I guess, edit here shortly. But yeah, a couple of friends and I, we are all bloggers. We were just talking about how we need to get back active and talking about some blog ideas. So I came up with one really quick to just kind of finalize or my 2023 and head into 2024.
Yeah. And then
You know,
how often do you release those or publish those?
My blogs are at least once a month. Yeah, I
Hmm.
tried to at least once a month. I think 2022, I did not do as many just because I had moved to California. And so I was working literally every day nonstop for harvest. There, I had no time.
What did you do in California then?
I was working in production. I was a production worker for the harvest season.
Oh, cool.
So I've kind of done a little bit of everything now in wine and, just seeing what I like the best, because I feel like I have enough skill to really kind of fall anywhere. But, it's about what I'm going to add value to and be the most successful for a brand or company.
Right. And how long were you in California? What brought you back to Texas? Or is Texas then, are you a native Texan?
Right. So Texas is my home base. I'm a
Okay.
native Estonian. And then I moved out there for the job to work at the winery.
Got it. Yeah.
Mhm.
What great experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I did have opportunities upon leaving there, but it did not make sense financially. And I had to come and do a lot of like, I guess, closed business here. I still was working at my other job. And, they allowed me to work from home technically that little bit of time. So yeah, it was a lot. And then California just was not for me. I'm a true Texas girl. Say being out there, it was a complete culture shock. I mean, the day I went into a Safeway and they asked me to pay for shopping bags, I was like mind blown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's different living out there. I think Aldi does it here, but every time you go to the grocery store, you had to purchase bags. So it was just completely different
Yeah.
culture.
Getting you in the habit of bringing your own bags.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Hey,
I always have them in my car. It's just usually they stay in the back of my car and I forget to bring them in. Well, I love everything that you're doing. I know when I was doing my wine tastings, I would always tell people that one of the reasons why I was doing them was to take the stuffiness out of a wine tasting because there can be a little snobbishness. And so I feel like that's what you're adding too, is like you're just teaching people the basics and peeling everything away so it is just basic.
absolutely. I think, wine is already intimidating,
Hmm.
when just add from a consumer standpoint, when I walk into a retail store, or even sit down at a restaurant and they hand me the wine list, the most overwhelming thing is to select something and then feel like you're doing the wrong thing. And so I want to instill that confidence in everyone that I teach, meet, or just have a glass with, to be able to, feel confident in their preferences necessarily, and just taking something small, maybe finding the region that you like or the one grape that you like, and kind of sticking with that and building from there. So my events and experiences here in the city, I typically do try and keep them light hearted and fun and very approachable, and still throw in the component of wine. They're always wine centric and focused, but just making it a little bit light, because you can always go down to a tasting room at the winery and have that experience. But here, I want to make it something where it's really about community, and the takeaway is not only sharing a good glass with maybe a new friend, but like I said, taking that confidence away to do the same thing at retail or at a restaurant.
Yeah. And allowing them the space to explore new things. And because it's so easy just to walk in and go with your regular Chardonnay, or, go with your cab. But for them to be able to have someone like you to walk them through, to try different things, and like you said, give them the confidence. That's awesome.
Absolutely. I'm 100% believer in exposure. Exposure is truly what is going to help wine enthusiasts build that confidence. The more that they're around the wine, they get to touch it and drink it, and not necessarily do it in a tasting room or in a formal setting, is something that I think will eventually change the buying habits as well of these consumers.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Well, I know I mentioned that I have enjoyed watching you and following you. Where can the listeners follow you and find you?
Well, on social, I am just the Black Wino EO. I have a website and blog as well. So it's just theblackwino.com. And that's pretty much it. I am on Instagram and via my website. I would love for people to subscribe. That way they can stay caught up on any upcoming events and experiences that I have throughout the year. We're getting ready to, like I said, celebrate the rodeo. So I got a couple of things that I'm excited to announce here very, very soon.
Oh, cool. And we'll absolutely include all of that in the show notes so people can find you there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. And I'm so grateful that we were able to connect.
me
I'm
too.
so for the opportunity to just be able to speak to people about what I'm doing here in the wine industry and here in Houston. And so also just meeting other fellow wine lovers and professionals is just always amazing. I can talk about wine literally all day. My friends
I
have to
love.
pull me away from like the table. Come on, we just want to order now. Yeah, the one who always is like, okay, why is this not on the wine list? And people are just trying to order salads, It's like, hate me. Yeah.
Oh, I think that's great. Well, I so appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be here and to share your beautiful smile and time. Well, they can't see your smile. Only I can see your smile. It's beautiful. Just trust me. Yeah, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate you. And we need voices like you as well in this industry.
Thank you. All right, that was such a wonderful conversation. I could have spent even more time with her. I feel like when I set out on this podcast that it was almost like she was in my mind as the one of the perfect guests, because she has that wine knowledge, but the balance of wellness and her fitness. I love how she said that because she drinks wine, she works out. I mean, we joke about that, but it's true. I feel like everything could be like put into one takeaway with this conversation, but I did break it into a few. But again, I just loved this conversation, and I hope you did too. So one, if you don't see it, create it. Two, find what you enjoy when it comes to wine and fitness. Be flexible and go with your flow, and know that that may change. Three, wine can be intimidating. Taking a course or tasting with Monica or someone like her can give you confidence. And remember, wine should be fun. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll share it with a friend because I feel like this is the perfect episode to share with someone. And I would like to share something exciting with you all that's coming up. Well, in a while, it'll be in the fall, so September. So Spandex and Wine is collaborating with Penny Fitzgerald with Penny for Your Shots podcast, and we are putting together an event that we are calling Wine Camp. When we were both working for Traveling Vineyard, our national conference was called Harvest, but we all joked and called it Wine Camp. And so we thought it would just be fun to create an event that anyone can come to, whether you're associated with a wine company or not. A place that you can come and learn about wine, just make connections, whatever you want it to be. There's going to be 3 different levels that you can choose from to participate. So it can be very minimal, or you can take it up to the VIP level. We were going to be calling it something different, but that's what it is. So different opportunities. So look for that. I'm also going to put a link in the show notes about how you can sign up for more information on that. Thank you. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, be sure to follow Spandex and Wine so you don't miss an episode. To do this, just go to the podcast and click subscribe or follow wherever you're listening. Look for the plus sign or follow button. This is one of the best things that you can do for the podcast. If you'd also be willing to give a 5-star review, that would be amazing and much appreciated. Lastly, please share an episode with a friend or 5 to keep the love going, and join the Spandex and Wine community in our private Facebook group by searching Spandex and Wine. Feel free to reach out to me at any time by emailing info@spandexandwine.com or text me at 913-392-2877. I appreciate you. Thank you.